and run it as an administrator. So let's continue today also. Okay. File, open recent, Angular code. I think this is what we did in the last class. Raju, we have uploaded the recordings, right? Isn't it? Have we uploaded the recordings? Yes, okay. Hang on, just quickly. So what did we do? Okay, I've just started this. Let us check. The last 5 days back. Okay, guys, let me check on because I've just forgotten. So we did this. We installed the CLI. We installed this. We opened the project. We did an npm. Great. And we did an ng serve. Okay, we did this. Okay, I opened some notepad out there. I wrote some questions also. Did I save this notepad? Actually, I'm taking, four trainings in a day of Angular. Let me change my, yeah. This is my Singapore's, okay. I understood what I've taken. This is Singapore class. This is QuestFont's class, right? So, and that's Favor Telemedicine. See, that's how we work online. Okay, guys. So, yeah, so we created the project and we saw this, all things. We did an ng serve also, right? So we did an ng serve directory, cd customer app. Remember, if you do an ng serve here, just quickly, if you do an ng serve here, it creates a problem. So we have to first go into the customer app and then do an ng serve. This is where the compilation starts, right? And I had given some questions also, and I know that some of the people have written the answers. So I'm going to go and pull up someone's blog out here. Let's take up, this is the CLI, okay. Differences between npm install, src and e2e folder. Okay, I talked about it. Difference between, hang on, I gave the questions on the chat. Yep. Okay, so with this, I come to know what we are doing. Okay. Damn. You should always be prepared for the class 5 minutes prior. Right. No problem. Okay. So in the last class, we looked into Angular CLI. We talked about the npm install locally and the npm install globally. We talked about ng serve. We also talked about ng build. We talked about the -- prod flag. We talked about this src folder and the e2e folder, and those things, right? Okay. So we'll continue today. I'll add the questions here itself. Now, let's zoom in more on this project template. Slow. Okay. In this project, let me close this one, close this one, close this one. ng service going on at the back end. You can see ng service going on. So I'm going to take a full screen snip on this. And let's watch very closely now what more files are there in this template. Remember, today and tomorrow we will dedicate our days to the template. Template means this ready-made code. Okay. So now over here, first thing, some of the files which are very much known to you guys. So one is this package.json. Remember package.json? This file has all the necessary components needed by you for the project. So you can see in the package.json, very clearly it says what is the version of Angular. Now, first thing, you can see here in this, now there are two things here. One is there is dependencies and one is there is dep dependencies. When you see a package.json file, you will find a couple of things out here. But the first important thing to notice, it has dependencies and it has dev dependencies. Now these two are very different. Dev dependencies are things like CLI, compilers, Karma, Jasmine, TypeScript. Like TypeScript will not go into production. When you host your website, TypeScript will not go into production. TypeScript will be used by you on the developer's terminal. We as a developer will use TypeScript to compile the project. We as a developer will use CLI to create the project. But we don't need CLI in the end user's computer. In the end user's computer, where we want our application to run, we don't need it. This is all developers' dependencies. As a developer, what tools we need? We need VS Code, we need CLI, we need this, we need that compiler. All those things are there in this dev dependencies, right? In the dependencies is what exactly we use in our project. Like for example, probably we'll be using Angular animation, we'll be using the Angular, or some part of the Angular compiler, Angular forms to develop the UI and something, right? So there is dependencies and there is dev dependencies. Dev dependencies are used. So what is the difference between dependencies and versus dev dependencies, right? So very quickly, these are sections. These are sections of the package.json file. It is used by Node. It is used by npm install, right? In dependencies, the things which are listed in dependencies component will be installed in the production server. So in the production server, you have to take these dependencies and install it. While dev dependencies are for developers, they will be only be available in the developer's machine. They will be available only in the developer machine. Like for example, you have a Java compiler or you have a Python compiler. Those you don't go and take it to production, right? They are for you. So they will be available they will be available on dev machines. Okay. So just remember there are two sections to it. One is dependencies, one is dev dependencies, right? Okay. Also, you can see there is a tsconfig.json file here. Do you guys remember tsconfig file, everyone? Please say, do you guys remember this file? There is tsconfig.json file, which, helps to go and, what do you call, a tsconfig.json file, which actually helps you to go and the TypeScript compiler looks at these compiler options to compile things, right? So we talked about this. So you can see so many things are now coming from npm, so many things are coming from TypeScript package.json file. There are other JSON files here. Don't worry about that. There is a README file. I can say that this is like, for saying what is your project, what do you need, right? So it's a README file, right? But now the main action happens in the source code, in the SRC folder. In the SRC folder is where you will go and you will write your code, right? You will go and you will write your code. Now, before I start, right, one of the very important ways to learn Angular is start ignoring unnecessary things. Start ignoring things, which are least priority. Focus on the important one. Remember that Angular is an ocean. Angular, MVC Core, SQL Server, these are oceans, right? If you try to do everything, you will just lose your stamina, right? So start ignoring certain things for now, right? Spec dot, wherever you find the file spec, leave it. Wherever you find folders and files with the name E2E, pause it. See, delayed learning. I want to today talk about this concept which I use in my class. Delayed learning or on-demand learning means what? When you say you want to do certain things, you want to create a CRUD application, you want to create a UI. If you try to learn too many things, the main focus is lost, right? So delayed learning means, these we will learn later on. These are not in priority at this moment, right? These spec files, these E2E files are testing files. Spec file stands for specification. Specification. So move your eyes from out this file. Leave it. Don't worry. There is a routing file. For now, move your eyes from it, right? Focus your eyes on two things, HTML and components and module, right? Angular. Now we'll talk about the main architecture of Angular. Angular is a binding framework. Angular is a binding framework. Please let me know, guys, if you have taken this in the last class, because I'm taking a lot of Angular trainings and I can miss it. Let me know, have we taken this internal SRC file? Have we taken this thing? Please let me know. Have we taken? No? Okay, okay. Actually, before the class, I go through your videos to see that what I've taken in the last class. Okay. This is the HTML. This one is the HTML, which is nothing but the view. This is the component. The view talks with the component. And the component talks with the model. At this moment, we don't have a model. We need to create one. There is no model here. Don't say module is a model. Module, this is a module, not a model. M-O-D-E-L, model, right? So there is a view, which is nothing but HTML. There is a component. There is a model. This model has business logic. This view has look and feel, colors, positioning, background images. And the component ties up the view and the model. What do we do in the real world? In the real world, what do we do? We have a business logic. For example, you say that the bank should have this much amount. You cannot withdraw more than the amount. The customer should have a name. The patient should have a name, and so on, right? So you have some business logic and you have a front end, right? So whatever is your business logic of your real world, of your domain, you put it here. Whatever is the UI is your HTML. And to bind both of them, his work is to bind the view and the component. So if somebody types here anything in the view, it will go to the component first. Component will do some checks and then send it to the model, right? So Angular is a binding framework. It's a very nice binding framework. Angular, React, Vue.js, Knockout, Backbone, and many other frameworks out there. So these are all binding frameworks: Angular, React, Knockout, Vue.js, Backbone.js, old one. Backbone.js and Knockout was there in 1980s. I remember in 1991 I saw Backbone.js. Today Angular is more rich, definitely, but this binding, why this binding framework is not today, huh, guys? I remember that I was in my college, and even like when I did computer for the first time, I was doing Fox Pro. My brother is here, so I was doing Fox Pro in Kopoli, and I clearly remember, as a developer, I always struggled that from the view how to send the data to the model. Today also I'm struggling, because you have a view, the end user puts in a data, then you have to take that and connect it to the model. Always, this middle layer is always troublesome to write. This is very easy to write. This is very easy to write, but this one is troublesome. So Angular says that don't worry about it. I will take care of it. You don't have to write a lot of code. The binding code, I will take care of it. So that is what in the component. Now in a project, you can have many views. You can have many models. You can have many components. So it's in In an enterprise project, you will have a lot of things, right? A group of component is termed as a module. Module, not model, module. A group of component is termed as a module. Now, this is the initial architecture blocks or components of Angular, I'll say. View, component, model, and a group of components is termed as a module, or module groups components. Module groups components. So guys, any questions on this in this 4 layers? View, component, model, and modules. Any queries here? If you understand this, you have understood Angular 20%, or I can say 30%. 20 to 30% of Angular is here. If you miss this, you're gone. It is divided into 4 layers. UI, binding layer. UI means the view, binding means the component, model means the business logic, module means a logical grouping of components. It logically groups components. Any questions, let me know. To just make the diagram more clearer, because while explaining, I must have drawn too many things out there. So, view, component. When I say MO means model, huh? A group of component is put into view, component, modules. We have to still code the model. This is not existing at this moment, right? Close your eyes on spec.ts, close your eyes on routing. We'll come to that later on. CSS also leave it. I know a lot of people know what is a CSS, but leave it. Yeah. Very good question from Krishna sir here. Let me just paste down Krishna's question. So this is here's a question. Good question. So what happens internally? When we launch the app, what happens? How do, like when I say ng-serve out here, so ng-serve is already done, I guess. So when I say this local 4200 port, when I say this, what happens internally? How does it run? Who runs first? What happens? So let us go through that. I think that's a very interesting question asked, right? So let me try to explain you. So I'm going to go again and take a print shot, and this time I need a more wider print shot. Okay, before I proceed to the, okay, let's put down some questions. Questions. These answers again, please write down the answers, and please name your this series as Angular interview questions. Think about like we are preparing for the interviews. We'll be doing a project. Think about that you are preparing for the interviews also, right? So what is components? What is view? Explain and draw diagrams, guys. Draw diagrams on a paper and give a print shot on your blog. Explain view, components, modules, and models. What does each of the layer do? What is the responsibility of each of the layer, right? Okay. This is part 2. Okay. Right, let's continue. So now, before I proceed, right, I want to talk about the naming convention of this complete project. If you see now, there is a SRC folder. Inside the SRC folder, there's an app folder. SRC and app. And then look at the naming convention. Look at the naming convention of the UI. It says app, whatever is a folder name, dot component dot HTML. Look at the another one. Now this is TypeScript app dot component dot ts, and then app dot module dot. So you can see that the naming convention app, the layer name, or whatever it is, and the extension, right? So what exactly is this? What exactly is the app? You can think about app is a logical grouping of modules in your project. For example, if let us say you have an ERP system. In a ERP system, what you can have? You can have uh, an accounting application. You can have an inventory application. You can have a payroll application. You can have lot of logical small application. Normally, a very big enterprise application is nothing but they are built from the logical grouping of lot many smaller modules, right? So this app is nothing but a module. So this app, what you see out here, is a module. Means, in other words, what happens in real world is it is like this: SRC, we will say inventory. Okay. So now inside inventory, we will say this is inventory dot, let us say, inventory new item, add item. So, okay, add item dot HTML. Second, inventory dot that add items TS file. Inventory. So this way you will secondly say, oh, like payroll. Okay. Payroll. Then again, payroll dot, payroll dot, payroll dot. And you can be very artistic. You can say that, okay, inside the inventory, I will say there is internal inventory folder and an external, and then in that and something else. So this app is nothing but small application which constitute to make a bigger application. Did we get, guys, the name, the app folder importance? App is nothing but small application which constitute to make a big application out of the whole project. And the naming convention they follow in Angular everywhere where you go, the naming convention is the name of the app dot HTML, name of the app dot TS file. Let me know, guys, if everybody has understood that why that file names are app, or the folder name is app. Yes. Did we get it, guys? Let me know. We'll be doing, when we are doing a project, we'll be following this convention. It is nothing the way in a project, how people put standard guidelines. When you talk about a project in an industry, these are standard guidelines what people follow, right? So we can talk about here that how is the naming convention. What is the industry naming convention? What is the industry naming convention? Industry naming convention for Angular, right? So Angular files and folders. So SRC folder. So very just in generic, huh? If you see here, look at the structure. You have an SRC folder outside all configuration files. All configuration files outside, like tsconfig and package.json, all outside. After that, in SRC folder, there will be one app, inventory app, second app, accounting app, and in that his files and subfolders. So remember, configurations outside, SRC folder, your source code, and then the naming convention is app. This is called as Angular style guide. This naming convention, what I've talked about, is given by Google, which is termed as Angular style guide. Style guide. Angular coding style. How do you follow it, right? File structure convention. Now they have created a project called a Heroes project, where they put some Marvel characters and so on. So hero.component.ts, hero.component.html, and we'll see this code and so on, Okay. Okay, now coming to the main point that, okay, how does Angular start? How does this whole Bootstrap life will start, right? So I'm going to go and put up this is the snapshot. When you go in your local host 4200 port, when you say 4200 and you press enter, right? The first thing which runs is the index.html page. I'm trying to answer one of a friend's question. How does this whole thing start? So index.html page runs first. The index.html page then starts the main.ts page, the main.ts file. TS means TypeScript, right? So the main.ts file runs after that. I need a rubber. I'll tell you why I'm leaving this section like this. Okay. Index.html starts, then the main.ts starts. So this is 1, this is 2. The main.ts actually goes and loads your module. Where is my print screen? I need this print screen. So index.html starts. HTML. Then we start the main.ts. The main.ts then says which module to load. So the main.ts loads the app module. I will just name it as a module now, but the file name is app module. So let me name it as app module. The app module loads the component. Right? The app component loads the UI. App component.html, right? And this UI is then loaded inside index.html. So inside index.html, this app component.html is loaded in something called as a selector. So there will be some kind of a tag here. I will show that my app/my app. Inside this tag, this page will be loaded. For now, we don't have a model, but you can always have a model here, right? So index.html runs, main.ts runs, main.ts loads the module loads his component loads the UI and the model. It does all that binding. It takes everything together and loads inside this tag of index.html. So if you see this index.html out here, you will see that there is a small tag here, app root. I'm sorry, the name is app root. So this name out here is app root. App hyphen root slash app hyphen root. It loads inside this. For the 4th, 5th, and 6th. This is termed as selector. This is termed as a selector. So this is how the flow of Angular is. The initial loading of Angular, initial, right? So the end user in his browser, he types 4200, this hits this index.html, and then the flow happens, right? Any question on this flow out here? Good question from Krishna here. So there can be many components, right? No, so there is something called as lazy loading, Krishna. We'll be doing that in our class. So let me put this question here. There might be several components. So does all the components are loaded? No, definitely. Now think about it. You have a hospital management system. You have patients, you have doctors, you have nurses. If you load everything, he has to drink a cup of tea and come back, and he has to have all the khaja and come back, and then only his page loads, right? No. So it loads on demand. So we can tell him that for doctor module, load only this much. For admin, load only this much. So we'll be talking about a concept called as lazy loading. I'm typing it on the chat. Lazy loading, right? So we'll do that. So everything loading at the first is definitely asking for trouble, right? Yeah. It's a very well thought framework. Angular, React, Vue.js, these are very well thought. They knew that what are the troubles of CSS and HTML and JavaScript. So all this like lazy loading, compression, good performance is all thought right from 0 to 100%, right? Okay. Any questions here on the flow? Please let me know. If you have any questions. Right. So I can see no questions. If any questions, please put down. So guys, I put two more questions here. How does Angular application bootstrap? Bootstrap means how does it start? Normally in IT world, people use the word bootstrap. It's nothing but how does it initialize? And the second is what is a selector? Remember I talked about this one is a selector, where the component gets loaded, right? Yes. Okay. Now, today's day also, we are just going through all the components because the coding is far away. So please stick with me. I know that everybody would be excited about coding, but coding will take some time. First thing, now let us go and watch index.html calls the main.ts. In the main.ts, you can see there is some TypeScript code here, import and so on. But look at this code here. It says platform browser dynamics start the app module. Forget about what is platform browser dynamic. What is this? Don't worry about it. But he kickstarts the app module. So in our diagram, what I had shown, where is the diagram? I closed it. I closed my diagram. Okay, in the diagram, if you remember, I said the main.ts calls the app module. So you can see this is the app module, right? When the app module starts, you can see it says, now I know there is a lot of code here. There is a lot of code. Don't worry. Look at this code. It starts the component. The component knows the HTML. Look at this template URL. I'll come to all the syntaxes. I'm just pointing out the connections. He knows that he has to take this HTML and he has to load inside the app root. I will repeat this. This is main.ts file. You can see that he is starting the app module. Don't worry about syntaxes. Why is this a round bracket? What is this bootstrap? Is it bootstrap related to CSS? No, no, no. So all that, remember, leave it. But this says that start first the app module. The app module starts the component. So I'm pointing towards important syntaxes. The component has a thing called as template URL. So he knows that with which UI he should connect. So he knows that this component is going to get connected with this UI. Currently, we don't have anything in this UI, but this component will get connected to that UI. He has to take this UI. We don't have a model now. We don't have a model now. He has to bind everything and load this into app root. And this app root is present out here. I just ran you through some very important code points. Index, main TS, component, template URL, and selector. After the class, guys, please watch the video and just whatever I've done, just try to just see those syntaxes once. Okay. Any questions here? Let me know. Right. Now, let me continue. Guys, from here, the code is going to become complex because remember that this training is enterprise level training. The one training which we are trying to impart in the finishing school is the enterprise level. So what will happen is, after like, 7th or 8th lecture, probably you can feel that this is quite heavy, but that's how the industry is, right? So try to bear with me, try to see the videos once again. We are coming to Dhangadi, so at that time you can ask me more questions, right? Now let's zoom in the component. So here is the component. Okay. First thing, you can see everywhere TypeScript. Angular uses TypeScript left and right, morning and evening. So you can see this is TypeScript, TS, import, export, class, TypeScript, right? Now you can see here on this class here. So this is the class here, class app component. On this, there is a nice decorator. So this is the class here, class app component. And on this class, they have put a nice decorator called as component with a bracket and with a curly bracket. You don't have to know the syntaxes. Please note, these syntaxes you don't have to by heart, because this will come in the template, right? So on this class, there is this decorator like a crown, like a mukut, right? So what does this decorator say? Because of this decorator, this class now becomes a component. See, if there was no decorator on this, if there is no decorator on this, then this is a simple TypeScript class. This one is a very simple TypeScript class. But because you put a component, a decorator on it, it has now become in that layer. If you remember view, component, and model, this has now become this. Or else it's a very simple TypeScript class, right? So in this component decorator, there are 3 parameters here. The first parameter is the UI. So this component is connected with which UI is defined by this template URL view. The second parameter, selector. This UI should get loaded into which selector is put here. Selector. And third one, for this UI, do you need any CSS style sheets? You will define here, right? So you can see here, it says this app component is. So in other words, what I can say is, if I just try to make a very summarized assumption, because of this template URL, this app component is connected with the HTML. So that app component.html is connected to app component.ts because of this template URL. If this was not there, there is no way I can know that this component is connected to that URL. Did everyone get this? What is a template URL? What is a selector? Yes. Any questions? Yes. So a decorator is a decorator. Explain the importance of, so very quickly here, until you can put down the questions here, importance of template URL. Remember guys, today the demos are less. There is no demo today, but more of the understanding. Yes. Yeah. Selector. Yes, Prem. So let me talk about the selector. So see the selector very quickly. Good question. This you can think about. Must be give you a different perspective out here. So component, this word component, I want to give you a different perspective, right? This is a view, there is a view here, and this view has a component, a code behind. So this, whenever I type something in this view, it will go to this component, right? It will go to this whole model, right? And so on. This whole thing is nothing but some small functionality. For example, you can have a screen called as add countries, maintain customers, maintain patients, right? So this maintain patients UI needs a view, needs a component, needs a business logic, right? Now let us say I have some page out there, some page, I will say homepage, homepage.html. This functionality, this functionality, how do I call on this page? What should I write in the HTML? You will write this guy. You will say app root. And this whole thing will get loaded here. So you can think about this app root, this selector is like, calling inside the HTML, the whole functionality, right? So if I want to call this whole functionality inside whichever HTML, so let's say I have a different HTML here now. At this moment, I have index HTML. So in that, I want to call this then app root. So this tag, this is a tag by which I can call this whole functionality inside a UI. So selector is the name of the HTML tag by which you can call this functionality in the UI. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Or you can also say, Roshan, the selector makes the view available to the component, the whole thing. So Roshan must be, you can have a different perspective. You can say that the selector loads the whole functionality into the HTML. So here, if you see in this index.html, it is loading app root. So in other words, it is loading custom HTML, component, CSS, all this thing compiled, bunched, compressed will get loaded over here. So how do you see? You have to call it, right? You have to call it somewhere at the end of the day in the UI. So this is the UI name. This selector gives a name to your whole component. Okay, so that's a good question from Krishna. You're saying that some people, they go and they use only template, but that would be very difficult. So template means you can also do like this. You can say template, look at this. And you can say bold tag. You can write HTML in this. This is hi, this is hello. Means rather than providing a file name, you can see now I have provided an HTML directly. But this is really of no use because normally in big projects, you will have so much big HTML. So if you start writing HTML inside the TypeScript, it would be very difficult to maintain, right? So I would suggest to avoid template and use template URL, because now with this, what happens is your UI is different, your component is different, they're decoupled. So as an industry practice, I know in the online examples, they use template, because for explanation purpose must be, but in projects, I think you should avoid it, because think about now in the UI, you will write so many things. You will write here a table, a TD, a TR. Now to take all this and put it inside here like this, it would become very difficult to read. So create different entities, right? Yes. Did that answer your question, Krishna? Okay. So what we'll do is, guys, we'll stop here today. We'll connect tomorrow now. I want you guys to go to your project, must be after this class or tomorrow morning, and just watch, what I've taught. Today I taught about, today there is no coding. So this is the most easiest part. We talked about dev dependencies. We talked about dev dependencies. We talked about views, view, component, and module, right? We talked about the naming convention, app hyphen root, and so on, right? How is the naming convention? We looked into the bootstrap, so first the index page runs, then the main runs, then the module runs, right? Please see the complete video. We talked about what is a selector. We talked about what is a decorator, and we talked about what is a template URL. So what I'll do is, this was the first part of the class of Angular. This is part 1. Please name your article as Angular interview questions, right? This is part 2. I'll be pasting on the chat, right? there it is. Right. So any questions here? So guys, tomorrow what we will do is, tomorrow we will again continue with Angular as decided. Let us do 2 days in a week at least. Remember that the syllabus is very, very vast. So let's try to see that we can do some more. We can give some more time. Uh, Tomorrow we will look into this module decorator. What exactly is this module decorator, right? You can see this is again a decorator. @ sign is a decorator. @ sign, this is a component decorator. This is a module decorator. So we'll see tomorrow a decorator, and we'll create a very simple UI tomorrow, like must be patient name and patient address. And we'll create a model and we will do the binding. Tomorrow's day is very important of Angular because I'll be creating the first screen in Angular and I'll be doing the binding, etc. Right? So in tomorrow's day, the goal is, I can write down here, understand modules, create a simple screen, 2 text box screen I'll create, create a simple screen and bind with the model using ng model. And we'll also see something called as expressions and directives, right? Yeah. Any questions here? Yes. Yeah. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Yes. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Yes. Yes. Tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. Today I slept actually. Ekdam nidra lag gayo malai. So I was like sleeping. So sorry for it. Okay. I can see that people are decreasing. This is bound to happen. Must be from here also. People will decrease. Students will decrease. We will end up with 2 or 3 students only, Raju. But whoever are the 2 or 3 students at the end of the day will definitely get benefit from this program. It is so sad. 3 colleges came in of Nepal, and at the end of the day, we are here now. And I don't know how many people will hang on. But I'm telling you one thing: if you hang on, right, till whatever time you can, the college education is important. I understand. I respect the college education. I myself I'm a graduate, right? But the college education does not know what the industry needs. Industry needs something more. The way you develop applications in college and the way the industry sees it, it is so different, right? So guys, I would suggest, as we are going one lecture after another lecture, please motivate your friends to join in. They lose this train. I don't know what kind of training institutes there are there in Nepal, but in India, like, we have worse training institutes. They just take money. And I'm sure that in Nepal also it would be the same thing. I know that in Kathmandu, there are many institutes who don't teach anything. So don't end up your career into a mess. This is a very good opportunity. And I hope that a name in the industry in Nepal, right? So please try to stick, till whatever you can. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks a lot.